Okay, here we are. Probably the end of the wonderful TRIMET board meeting. I'm sorry I didn't set up where I get the information. Let me just get that here real quick, and we will be ready to go. And there is the information. So let's see what's next. It's the Ozzy show.
All right. Now we're moving to resolution number 8. We're jamming through these. I thought we'd be taking a break by now. I'm seeing thumbs up. We're moving. Okay. Resolution number 8, and this is resolution 23-06-31, authorizing a contract with Chown Incorporated, aka Chown, for locksmith services.
Yeah, Chown. I know Chown. I used to use them when I was managing that apartment in the West. That's another thing I'm surprised they don't have a locksmith in the house. Okay, that's another example. What the hell? Don't you have a locksmith on your staff? Okay, it's a slot key system. Any locksmith can rekey those. Okay, agency rekey. Yeah. Anybody can do this. John will completely new MKS with primary focus on key control, ensuring that only those who need a key get one. I'm sure they'll do a great job. Virtually every lock and key with it will be changed to new, never before issued keys. Because everybody wants to get into the TriMet. And all you ex-employees I still have a key to the bathrooms. I have no idea where it is, but I still have one. During and after completion of the contract, TriMet focus will shift to maintaining clear and accurate records of simple key management software. Jesus Christ. Approximately 65 traction power substations will be their first priority for the new key system. Each building will be surveyed and have the status of its lock hardware verified and marked for replacement upgrade. Yes, I'm sure it's important. It's only one bid, Chown. I'm surprised. How come Atlanta didn't bid on this? It's only 2 million. What the hell? We got 2 million. That's easy. The independent cost estimate was 199.7.5. Only one proposal was submitted. Okay. Oh, look, they only got 12% minority. Uh-oh. And only 28% female. How can you do that? How can you allow them to have the contract with those kind of numbers?
Including master key schema development and implementation. Mr. General Manager, your comments, please.
Presiding Officer Gonzalez, members of the board, the purpose of this resolution is to identify a contractor who will create a completely new master key system for TriMet. Under the new system, nearly every keyed entry lock system that is owned and operated by TriMet will be replaced. The primary focus of the new system is key control. This will help ensure that only those who need a key get one, and those who do not need one are not able to get one. So it's important.
Oh, so you haven't been doing that, huh? You've just been handing key. Hey, I need a key, and whoever's in charge over there just says, "Okay, here's a key." Is that what you've been doing? I mean, the way he's making it sound is like there's been no control at all over handing out TriMet keys, which, of course, is ridiculous.
To remember that when we talk about keyed entries at TriMet, We're just not talking about doors to our operating facilities. The first priority for this contractor will be to replace the lock and key system on approximately 65 of our light rail substations. Once that part of the work is complete, the focus then will shift to the employee facilities across our service district. And for this contract, TriMet issued a competitive request for proposal. Chown was the only firm to submit a proposal. However, staff believe it will provide the best overall value to TriMet. The proposed contract is
We the staff who don't do anything but sit around and decide who gets your tax money, believe this is going to be a great deal, even though we had no other bids. Jesus, the stupidity never ends.
for $2 million, and it covers 5 years.
$2 million. That's like half of your fare increase. The fare increase is $5 million. Half of your that's going to go for this.
The services are budgeted, and the Safety and Security Division operating budget, Chown has 57 employees, 12.3% identify as minority.
That's not acceptable. It should be at least 33%, right? I mean, what's the acceptable number for this? 1/3? 1/2? 3/4?
27.1% identify as female, and I recommend your approval of the resolution.
Thank you, General Manager Dessou. Do we have a motion to approve the resolution?
No motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Director Y. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Edwards. I'd like to move us now to discussion. Any discussion or
Yeah.
questions?
What's
Director
to discuss?
Edwards.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. General Manager,
Oh,
I
here
have a
comes-
question regarding.
Here comes the head of the key department, I guess. This guy's coming up to the podium.
So how often will this have to be changed, given that there'll be a change in personnel? And if there is a change in personnel during that period of time, what is the contingency to make sure that we still have integrity in our key lock system?
And that's critical, is the integrity piece, and this is one of the reasons why we move into this location. But Andrew, talk a little bit about the contingent and also the plan itself.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of a multi-year effort that we've been engaging in, and we have worked with Chown in the past to sort of do a rekey. Can you hear me all right?
Thank you.
All right. This is a 5-year contract, and we want to work with a vendor that can continue to meet our complexity. It's a pretty complex process. We've risk ranked these items.
It is not complex to change out a key. Okay?
And we're going after substations first from a safety security standpoint. You can understand why, and then moving into our other facilities. But we think that the contract is appropriately set for a 5-year and with the right amount. Does that answer your question, Director?
Yes,
No.
that does. I have another question, though, as well. In regards to that, looking down the road, do we have we thought about a way to change our locks, perhaps, so they're not maybe keyed locks? So there's another alternative to using those that so that we don't have
You mean like the badge that opens the lock?
to come back and have someone, a
Might be an
contractor,
idea.
actually physically rechange the locks and the keys on the second go-round?
Yes, in all the capacities and areas that we can do electronic right now, you'll notice out on the system, you'll see a lot of those card readers that we use for access in the buildings, et cetera, even out in some of our substations, et cetera. In all those situations, we're proceeding with that, where we have the right electrical hookup and capability. I will say that in the situations where we're continuing with a key, we're moving towards a simple key, master key process, which actually tracks and identifies who has those keys. And so that's kind of a technological electronic advancement that's coming out of this as well, is that we can track every single one of those keys and who has access. I'll tell you, in the past, we have had sporadic success with that. So this is more a part
What do you mean? You don't track who you give keys to? It's unbelievable.
of our kind of hardening our system and making it more access controlled for employees in particular.
Why don't you use the badge locks? If your badge is not If your badge deactivated, you can't get in anymore. Why aren't you using that system? Which is what you use at your main headquarters. That's what you used at even Center Street. You had to have a badge to get up on the elevator and go upstairs or get somebody to come and get you.
Okay. And if we do go electronic, what kind of safeguards would we have in place so that they won't be hacked?
Yeah, that would probably, I mean, I think we have a very robust IT cybersecurity department now. I think
Yeah, leader in technology. We hear it every day. They're just great. Sounds to me like they're a bunch of fumbling idiots from what I hear on the scanner.
you've heard some presentations related to that. That's not my necessarily area of expertise. I'd probably defer to my colleague Ethan Benetton on that in terms of, but I don't think this is a, I do know that he's been heavily involved with the substations in particular, because that's a sensitive area for us, and I think he's confident in this as well. I don't know, I'm speaking for Ethan, but.
Okay. Thank you.
Director Lewis, I see you have a question.
Thank you. Sometime, I know that security on some of the locks, especially the electronic locks, can be really robust. Will there be, or is there the capability of tracking a person through the system? I know there is the back, on the backside, the recording of disgruntled employee who's left.
Oh, disgruntled. Who would be disgruntled? You're working for the TriMet family.
You can turn off the access. I don't know.
Disgruntled? Nobody's disgruntled over
there.
there.
Upgrading to that.
Yeah, good question, Director Lewis. We already are in a position right now with our electronic key card access that we can track whoever, what time they paged in, when they paged out, et cetera. When employees leave, if there's any kind of disgruntled issue there, or if they're under investigation, et cetera, people understand that we can immediately eliminate their access to the facilities, and we do that on occasion, obviously.
Yeah, well, if they have one of those hard keys, you can't force them to get it back from them. I still have my keys.
As we operate. The physical keys, this will allow us to at least understand a little bit more about who's accessing those facilities and who can access them through that simple key schema. So we're getting there, and I think as we progress, this is going to be an area we're going to be continually focused on.
Don't forget, a hard key, a real key, can be duplicated. Even if it says do not duplicate, you can duplicate it. And it does get duplicated.
Okay. Follow-up question. Is there any federal, or do you know of, or have you accessed any federal funding for the security of, substations? I know that's been really high in the news of, access to a lot of our vulnerable systems.
Yes, we take advantage of TSGP grants in particular, transit safety grant programs, and you've heard some of them mentioned by me, the intrusion detection out of the Washington Tunnel. When we have the right set of facts, we go after those grants pretty heavily, and we take advantage of them. Honestly, our surveillance has been built out a lot by our TSGP grant capability. So the FTA has been a part of us hardening, and they're a part of every transit industry right now in the safety security realm. I do think that as we go into the future, we're going to see more of these types of grants that we're going to take advantage of.
Thank you.
Dumb question, stupid answer. Why are they asking about this? It's like insignificant.
Questions or comments from the board? All right, seeing none. All those in favor
Oh, it's going to be
of
close.
approving Resolution 23-06-31, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank
All right, enough of that nonsense. I'm holding in my hand here the Northwest Labor Press. And I have President Block's little column. I'm going to read it to you. June 6th to 10th, I traveled to Denver to attend the ATU National Conference. During the conference, we received information and training on battery electric buses presented by Andrew Faloptico of the Joint Health and Safety Committee. We were provided information on bus hazard control, including how to identify hazards and analyze risk. Isn't that something that TRIMET people should be doing? Because the TRIMET people are the ones that are in control of all that. You're not in control of any of that. A major topic of discussion throughout the conference was workplace safety and public transit. As we know, exposure to dangerous drugs, which is all, it's hysteria, complete hysteria, similar to the COVID hysteria. Violence, threat of violence, and toxic workplace environments. That have become all too common. It is important that we take care of each other. One way we can do this is by learning to recognize fellow members in behavioral health crises. Yeah, right. The next week, I went to Washington, D.C. to attend the ATU Legislative Conference. During the conference, we had time designated to visit with government leaders on the Hill. She's got Hill in quotes. I was able to spend time with Merkley, Blumenauer, Bonamici, and Val Hole, whoever she is, as well as other leaders to make our ask for our members. It doesn't make sense. Our members were working before, throughout, and after the pandemic. We need all of our leaders to understand that our union member safety is not negotiable. Well, she's having a lot of nice paid travel, isn't she? Yes, sir. All sounds very lovely. The elites, with their money and their travel, and everybody else is driving or in the ditch. Over and out.